This morning, our very special guest, our friend Sib Nafziger Charles, is with us. She is the Ministry Relations Manager with Joni and Friends. Sib, welcome back.
It is so good to be back. It's been way too long.
Pre-COVID since I've seen you.
Exactly.
We got to give a shout out to somebody, your son Nick, who was our intern here.
Intern Nick. He loved his experience here.
Please tell him we said hello.
I absolutely will.
We love him too. Anybody you want to say hi to?
Shout out to all my coworkers at Joni and Friends Pennsylvania.
Man.
Get up and get going to work.
Yeah. How long have you been with Joni and Friends?
Oh, full-time 25 years.
Wow.
I've been involved with the ministry for over 30.
And how long has Joni and Friends been around?
Believe it or not, they've over 40 years. Dear Joni Eareckson Tada, this year will be 58 years that she became a quadriplegic. So It's amazing. God has sustained her through some very difficult times.
And how is she doing?
You know, people ask that question a lot. She's doing okay, but she'll be 75 this fall. Has some breathing issues, as many quadriplegics do, but she's
been through several bouts of cancer as well.
2 bouts of cancer, yeah. But
Bless her.
she's doing well, and she just keeps pushing through and doing what God has called her to do, which is
amazing.
Amazing story.
She's amazing. Tell us about the amazing things Joni and Friends does.
You know, Joni and Friends, what we do is we are involved in the lives of individuals and families affected by disability. As a family affected by disability, my husband was a quadriplegic. It's you want to say that more than survive, we want them to thrive.
Sure.
And that's what Joni and Friends helps them do. We help them thrive. And one of the main things I do is help churches begin to engage in the lives of people affected by disability. I say families affected by disability, they want to be loved, they want to be honored, and they want to be celebrated. And I believe that comes through the church. And so I do a lot of traveling and speaking, helping churches. We also have our family retreats. We now do 4 family retreats in our office across the country. We have over 80. And it's a week where families can come, the whole family unit, and be loved on. And we have events for the parents. We have events for the kiddos. And we need a lot of volunteers for those events. So that's part of why I'm here this morning. We have a new retreat in the fall now for families with adults with disabilities, children that are now adults, and it's intentional to help them what's next for their children. So we need
because a lot of times any services they've gotten or any help they've gotten just
21.
stops. Yeah.
At age 21 it stops. So
it's
we want to help
challenge.
Families think through and give a special place just for those families. We also have in September our Warrior Getaway, which is for warriors that come home from war with some of the hidden wounds of war, mainly PTS and closed brain injury. So we deal with a lot of trauma there and have therapists. So we need volunteers for there too. So we encompass all types of disabilities. Many people say, are you just for children? No, we are for individuals and families affected by disability to really help them begin to thrive.
And to help the church meet those needs as well.
Yeah.
So are both those events you talked about at Sandy Cove?
No, one event is at Sandy Cove. Our Warrior Getaway is at Sandy Cove the first week in September.
Okay.
And then the our family retreats are at Spruce Lake in the Pocono Mountains.
I should have known that. I should have remembered that.
And the Poconos and Canadensis. And if anybody's interested in serving at any of our events, they can reach us at our Joni and Friends Pennsylvania office. You can go on the web or reach us at 717-522-1467.
Yeah, or go to joniandfriends.org.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
We're going to talk more with Sib coming up. We'll find out more about those events and how you can help. But if that is something you would like to do, if that's on your heart, we invite you now to go to joniandfriends.org. We've got music on the way. We're welcoming back our dear friend Sib Nafziger Charles, who is with Joni and Friends. Good morning again to you, Sib.
Good morning.
We love having you here.
It's so fun to be here.
Your role as the Ministry Relations Manager is to help churches make church and church events and church happenings a more welcoming place for those families affected by disability.
Yeah.
What is it like? You've certainly had it your entire married life. What's it like for a family with disabilities?
You know, what I use now when I talk to people is, remember in March of 2020 when the world shut down? Everybody was saying, we're so isolated. We feel so alone.
Yeah.
I say, remember that feeling, because that's how families affected by disability feel most of the time. The word I hear the most in the disability community is we feel so isolated.
Right.
Maybe they have a child with a significant disability. They don't quite fit into the family scene. even their immediate family. They don't know how to respond. And so they're isolated. They are alone most of the time. And you and I talked earlier, transportation is a huge issue for individuals affected by disability. So again, isolated.
Yeah.
Well, you can work remotely. You can work from home, which is okay, but you want to be with people. You want to be engaging with people. So that isolation is so difficult. And we all want a place of belonging. And that's what families affected by disability are longing for, that place of truly belonging. And so I want to help churches not just minister to families affected by disability, but with, where they are truly an intricate part of the congregation, of that community, because that will help them not feel isolated and will also give them a place of belonging. And we can also help the church begin to engage and welcome other families affected by disability into their church community. So,
if somebody's listening, they say, well, I'm the person at my church that could help make that happen. How can they get in touch with you? What does that look like? Do you come out and speak with them?
Absolutely. I've been out in the last 2 months, I've been out 3 Sundays. This Sunday, I'm doing another training on how to engage and teach people in your church how to do a buddy ministry, a one-on-one,
right.
So the whole family can worship together. So we have one-on-one in schools. Why can't we have one-on-ones in churches?
It makes sense,
doesn't it? And so that way the whole family, because many times families don't go to church because one Sunday mom will go, one Sunday dad will go, so they can't even worship together.
Right.
Again, isolation.
Right.
So they can contact me at our Joni and Friends Pennsylvania office, 717-522-1467, or go to joniandfriends.org and find me there as well.
Another way families can get plugged in is at your upcoming events.
Absolutely. We have these incredible family retreats. They're week-long for families affected by disability, and it's also a great teaching ground for churches. Send your youth group to serve. I think we think of missions as going overseas, but
Sure,
right here in our
yeah.
communities, we have families affected by disability. So we have 4 week-long family retreats and then a week-long retreat for our warriors who come back from war. And we need approximately 400 volunteers in the summer to serve at all of those upcoming events.
So what do you do as a volunteer at one of your events?
We will train you. We have 24-hour training. Many will be one-on-ones with a child, youth, or adult with a disability. We also help the siblings. So you may be engaged one-on-one with a sibling for the week. You don't stay in the rooms with them. Their families are there, but you're with them throughout the day, making sure they're engaged in all the activities. All ages can come. We've had people from age 15 up to age 80 serving.
Wow.
So we need some people, though, that are young and can run around camps. So we do need that. So
So your warrior event is at Sandy Cove,
Right.
but your family event's at Spruce Lake.
Spruce Lake Retreat. Mm-hmm.
And then get all the details, the dates, anything
Yep.
about volunteering, they can get right there at your website.
Yep, joniandfriends.org, correct.
Check it out, joniandfriends.org. Lots of opportunities to serve, whether in your church or at these events coming up with Joni and Friends. Sib, it was so great to see you.
It's so wonderful to be here again.
Thank you for coming
Absolutely.
back.
Yep.
Blessings to you. Back to the music we
Thank
go.
you.
Here's Jordan Jansen. This is You Can Let Go, WJTL.